Hey guys, it's me T, coming at you with a new video, and I mean, you're never gonna get an old video, so I don't know why I say that, but what was I gonna say? So there might be I mean, I know for a fact that the AC is running in the background, so hopefully that's gonna be all good. I tested it before, so you guys should hear me with maybe like a little zooming action when you like listen to the video through headphones. So yeah, try to ignore that. It's just going to be I'm going to just say it's going to be a serene humming. So today I just wanted to come at you guys with like just to share synchronicity that has been happening in my life, which is so interesting. And I love synchronicity. Like anytime somebody shares synchronicity with me, I get so excited. So one of the things is, see this necklace? There's a story to this necklace. So the story is, today I literally woke up and I had this like slight like fear, but slight worry. I would say it's more of a worry, but I guess worry is a fear, right? So long story short, I woke up because I knew that I had run out of my synthroid pills because I'm going to say it's very important to say in the past so you can detach yourself from it and also leave it there in the past. So I'm going to say I had hypothyroidism, and obviously that's also to create like a better change for yourself, right? So I had hypothyroidism, and I was given, pills to take. And so yesterday, it's so funny because sometimes you procrastinate because you're like, you're you're scared of what the result is because your inner child is scared, right? Like it's not that you're scared, like there's nothing to be scared of, but it's and I'm pretty proactive when it comes down to my life. So like it's not that I was procrastinating, it's just kind of like you know what the main idea could be, and you just don't want to approach it, you just don't want to face it, right? So the main idea of what I'm talking about is you know the facts. So the facts were, I don't yeah, and the facts, again, I'm going to put it in the past. The facts were is I don't have health insurance, right? But that was never a problem. I always paid out of pocket, but now that I'm also not working, I was kind of like shit, because of the fact that what I didn't mention is my doctor, my prescription from the doctor, I need a new one. And what happens is when you need a new one, you obviously have to go and get, an appointment with the doctor for them to monitor your, take tests and things like that, and for them to monitor your levels of, hormones to see if they need to modify the amount of, the why is it not coming to me? The basically amount of MCGs, so I think it's micrograms. I don't think that's right, but whatever, man. It's like, so basically the amount of the pills that you take. So that sounds so fucking weird. I don't know why I can't come out, but you know what I'm trying to say. Um, so literally I was just kind of like, oh shit, like I don't want to go to the doctors because I don't feel like I need to, monitor anything. I feel like I'm okay. So that would be an extra expense I don't need right now. But yet I was like, that's kind of like maybe what's going on, what's gonna happen, right? So those were the facts, right? But it's funny because last night I had watched The Little Prince. It's a new movie that came out in a movie version. So I found out about it just last night. And crazy again, synchronicity is that I actually took this book out from the library, and I'm like halfway through this book. So like I've been reading this book, and all of a sudden the movie pops up after so many years of it being out at the same time. It's crazy. I fucking love it. So yeah, and I call it like, actually I started calling it, instead of crazy, because I mean crazy can be good, crazy can be bad. Crazy is just something, it's a word that you just kind of rely on sometimes, like you just go there with it. But I was thinking about how it's wild. What it is, it's like wild, it's wondrous. So I've been using like wild lately. It is freaking wild how it works. It's amazing. So and it's literally, it makes you feel like you're completely being watched over all the time, because it's like, how do they know to like put this together? It's beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That's why I believe in angels so much, because you're absolutely, watched out for. So going into the flow of, talking about angels, I took this worry from this morning, and and actually why I mentioned that is because the Little Prince, watching it last night, really truly made me believe in my childlike essence of myself. So my inner child, what it wants to believe, it's not going to like back down from believing what it wants to believe, and it's going to have a good life living it that way, right? Or it's going to have a good life living it in that way. Amen. I'm so excited because, it's one thing that a friend had told me at one point. She was like, and it was so cute because she, she had her monthly, and she was just like, she like expressed her heart to me, and she started crying, and she goes, and I'll never forget that too, because I'm so grateful for that. She said basically, she's like, T, you're the only one that constantly, like, she's like, I was thinking about you. She's like, you're the only one that I know that constantly gives power to your inner child, and it's so beautiful. And she's like, you constantly have been fighting for it. And she made me realize that I'm just like, damn, this is exactly what I do, because I love that aspect of me. And I've seen the when I've seen the lives of adults, and I'm just kind of like, okay, like I mingled it with it for a little bit. It altered me in a not a good way. And then once I became aware of it, I was just kind of like, no, this is not happening anymore. Like, I'm living my life on my terms, and that's it. Like, so I became really stubborn, and I'm a Capricorn, so like I tend to be really stubborn, but I like to say that I'm stubborn in the best ways possible, right? And only the right ways, just because it works for me. Like, why live a life differently than a fun one? You know what I'm saying? And your inner child, if you want to live a fun life, your inner child must be present, like at the forefront. And you could also be a big kid or a child, but also be a responsible, I always call myself a responsible big kid, because that's what I am. I'm like, look at me, like, this is all this stuff, like it's definitely like childlike essence. Like, there's color, there's like, I'm not even at my best right now. This is just basically a transition, space for me, which I'm so grateful for. I really am. But I love color, and that's always going to be around. Like, I'm never going to be that, even though I love adult like things, like different grays and things like that. It's just like, I'm all about like, let's wear color, wear color, surround myself in color. Neons are my favorite, so it's the way that it's what resonates with me, right? Some other people might not, but that's just who I am. So long story short, I'm like, so I told myself, so that movie was watched last night for a reason, even though my, inner child self was a little like weary of it, like this morning when I woke up, and it was like, oh no, like, we have to be responsible, and I'm scared. And I was like, you know what? It's okay. I'm scared because I'm scared that the facts are gonna like just generate some sort of rejection, and that's okay. Like, I just faced it. I was like, I understand it. Not a big deal. However, I choose to believe in something greater, something far greater, where the facts are not even needed, right? So it's like, you can't even you can't even apply the facts to them. So, long story short, I was like, my mom, it's so funny because my mom's very intuitive. And so I guess she like picked up on my worry this morning, and she was like, T, she's like, did you run out of your Synthroid? And I was like, yeah, I did, because I don't really like to lie to my mom, and because there's no reason to, right? So it's like, she's like, yeah, I did. So she went into ultra panic mode. She was like, whoa, all this. I was like, mom, relax. And literally, I just like walked away, because I was like, first of all, don't do that to me in the morning. Fuck that shit. I don't get like riled up in the morning, and no one will make me go there. Like, I will shut it down as fast as possible, because the thing is, I like my mornings to be peaceful. Let my mornings like unfold in a peaceful way, and then I can honestly like attack the quote unquote issues that we have that are not even issues. We're just waiting for creative solutions to happen. So long story short, I was like, blah blah blah. I was like, okay. I walked away, and then she realized I didn't want to talk about that right now, and I was gonna do something about it, but just like later. So but before I had gone downstairs and I had met up with my mom, in the morning, I had actually put in a prayer and I said, guys, help me with this. At least I think I did, but maybe they heard my thoughts. But I think I did, yeah. And so it's like, help me with this. I don't know what to do here. Like, like what's the best thing to do. And lo and behold, after I had that chat with my mom, I just kind of like, we diasporaed, we dispersed, and we did our thing. She ended up, excuse me, I was up in my room, and I was like literally like working on something, and she comes in and she was like, hey, I just found like this whole little pouch of like jewelry, and like let's take a look at it. And all of a sudden she whips this like this necklace out, and I was like, what? I was like, that is so weird that you're whipping out this piece of amber, because I was like, I see the length of it, and I was like, I didn't even think to like that, like I have amber, but I didn't even think that like to wear it, because I was just kind of like, I was like, yeah, it just didn't come to me, right? So, and there's no blame game there. You just wait for the universe to work its magic, and it's beautiful. So, long story short, yeah, she whips it out, and I was like dumbfounded, because I right away got the download of exactly what to do. I was like, this is the solution. This is the creative solution. So I look at it and I was like, Mom, this is crazy. I was like, amber is so good for your thyroid. It's so good for your throat chakra. It's so good for your energy in general, where it just like purifies your energy and stuff like that. So I was like, wow, that's so cool. Second of all, there are little leaves on here. You can kind of see them. Yeah, I kind of can't. Which actually, I was just thinking, I was like, it would be so cool if they were like, because I just like saw the shape of them. I'm like, it would be so cool if they were to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the Native American arrowheads. Yeah, that would be so cool. Like 3 arrowheads. But like, I'm cool with leaves because I like nature. It's like, it's all good. But these 3 leaves, P.S., the number 3 is very powerful. And leaves are for, I'm assuming, prosperity, because it's like blossoming, luscious, like they come off of plants. So that's excellent. But also, I think it's a jade. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it could be a different stone, but it's a jade stone. So I'm like, jade and amber is like completely such a powerful combination. You know what I'm saying? So I was like so grateful. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. So I put it on. I cleared it, first of all, because I didn't know. I think it was like my mom was saying how, like, my grandma had this pouch. She didn't really know what she wanted to do with it. Like, she hasn't looked at it in a while, so she's like, let's take a look at it, and and see if like somebody's gonna wear something, right? So yeah, so I'm so grateful that this came through. And then it's so funny, because I was being very aware of my own body once I put it on. So I cleared it, because it's very important for you to do that, especially when you bring in things into your house that are not of your energy, right? So you literally want to just send the intention, you send the energy, and you kind of like, you do this like clearing, right? Like window wipe, when you're cleaning windows, it's like you just do this motion, right? So you're like, clear, clear, clear 3 times, and then I say bless, bless, bless 3 times. Actually, a new thing that I started doing was I clear like 3 times with both hands, just so that it's balanced energy, and I bless it, bless it, bless it, because I had actually, and it's so fun because it goes like back to my childlike essence. I had actually learned that from Bert Goldman, I think his last name is, who does quantum leaping. He's freaking awesome. You're gonna have to go look at him. So he literally taught me that, to like bless it, and I was like, so I bless it all the time. I'm like, so it's fun, I do it to all of my jewelry, especially when I take a shower. So I do it after I get out of the shower. I don't know if, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it's a good idea to do it before going into the shower or after, but whatever. But like, you don't question what comes to you, so it's just like, you just do it. Sometimes when you have time, you think about it, or when you're willing, when you're meant to, you think about it and you readjust when you have to, right? So that's basically a synchronicity that happened to me today, and I was like, holy shit, that's awesome. Oh, and what I wanted to mention is, once I put it on, I was talking to my mom, and I like was like, let's see if I feel anything, you know, different in my throat chakra, to see, you know, because that's where the thyroid is, and that's where, you know, my blessed, healed, fully healed thyroid is. And so basically, you know, I was like just sitting there talking to my mom, and all of a sudden I felt a pop. And I was like, ooh, I was like, I just felt that this kicked into gear, you know? So it was just very cool. Also, another thing is Amber is the archangel that rules or is associated with Amber is Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Uriel is a archangel that I work with on a close basis. And I've had some amazing experiences in terms of, you know, how I know. I'll leave that for a different video. But yeah, it's just like, so I just like found it even more amazing, because I'm like, you know what, I need to start wearing this every day and call it a day and just trust that I'll be fine, you know? And I do trust that I'll be fine. And these adults around us, they don't, it's interesting. It's a little bit challenging. Like, if all the adults were more like kids, you would have an easier time believing in the shit that you believe in, right? But a lot of the adults are so adamant about, like, or I want to say grown-ups, a lot of the adult grown-ups, whatever you want to call it, are so adamant at their non-believing that they make your believing very, like, challenging, right? So, but once you get into that mindset where it's like, no, we're not gonna allow anybody to come in unless I feel like I believe that they should come in, then you're in the clear. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, right now, me and my angels, and, you know, all of the light beings that want to help me with my thyroid, they're doing that. Like, and I trust that, you know? So, because a lot of the stuff that, like, you'd be very egocentric, or you'd be very, like, what's the other word I'm looking for? Whatever. You would be like a complete, it would be crazy to think that you'd be the only one here, you know, in terms of, like, because, or that we know all the answers. Like, we don't know all the answers. We don't even know what's going on around us, like, on the invisible plane. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we can't walk around thinking that we know everything. We just have to, and that's where the believing comes into, because I feel like the more you believe, the more, you know, energy that you side with in terms of the light, the better your life will be. And people don't fucking realize how it's not challenging because it's coming from you, but sometimes it is when you're kind of sharing it with others. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's just very interesting how it all works. But long story short, I was guided to come and make a video about manifestation. So manifestation, I was like, now we're transitioning to a different topic, just in case I confuse you, because that's not what I want to do. That's not my intention. So basically, long story short, I wanted to come, I didn't know, like, so this morning I was like, I want to create a YouTube video because all signs pointed to that. However, I was like, I don't know what to do it on. Like, there's just so many things, you know, that I could do it on. And I really love starting off the video with, you know, either gratitude or synchronicity, or, you know, gratitude for the synchronicity, put it that way, which is it's so important, you know, and it's definitely, it's all in alignment with the, you know, how to be an optimistic kind of person, like, and just kind of stay afloat in that realm, because you know, life can take you down in different aspects. So, you know, you just got to maintain and keep strong in that, and you'll be fine. So this morning, since I didn't know what to do a video on, I decided to pull a card, and I was like, you know what? Again, the invisible plane, the goddesses, and my angels will let me know exactly, like, what I need to talk about. And today, this morning, I got the Goddess of Manifestation. There you go. Isn't that so cool? So this deck is called the Goddess Ascension Oracle Card Deck by Wendy Murphy. And if you guys don't follow her on Facebook, please do. She's so good with her energy readings on you know, on a moment to moment basis. Actually, I was gonna say on a daily basis, but it's actually moment to moment. It's pretty awesome. So let me read you what it says, and I'll just, like, kind of, like, break down exactly like how I feel that this, how I apply it to my life, so that we kind of like know, what we do. Okay, the goddess of manifestation, it says, manifest your hopes, dreams, wishes, and goals. She is helping you to work with your creative energy to begin to manifest your hopes, wishes, dreams, and goals. If you have been feeling I don't know how to say this word, despondent or despondent, or I just like to say despondent, and like nothing is manifesting as you would like, she will also show you how to let go of over expectation and step into your inner power to start to believe in your abilities to create all that you wish for, especially when it comes from your feeling heart center. She teaches you that all that is right for you and your soul path will come to you when you hold the vision of your manifested thoughts and take action to bring them to fruition. Now, it's very interesting because I was just thinking as I read that, which is how I do my readings, by the way. I like to read the descriptions that comes with them, and then this way my mind can kind of catch exactly what I need to talk about in terms of intuition. So it's more of like a focus point for me, which is cool. But that's exactly like basically what I did today was a form of manifestation. I had asked, and I was open to receiving like any and all answers to how my in terms of what creative solution needed to come in for my problem today. And this came in. So this was like manifested. This necklace was completely manifested. And I love that. Like it was like quick. It was like within probably 20 minutes. It was awesome. So, okay. So I had written down exactly like, the different steps that had stood out to me, actually more so of the breakdown in terms of manifestation, and then I'll just like touch upon them a little bit and see what happens. Okay, I'm just looking at the time. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I know I won't get cut off, but I don't know how much time I have on here before it can upload. Yeah, okay, I'll go like another 10 minutes and see what happens. So anyhow, it says, so the key words were manifest, dreams, wishes, goals. I also added desires and simplicity, right? So the breakdown was work with creative energy. And so it's funny because I was actually thinking when you want to manifest something, you want to make sure that music is on. That's a creative form of flow energy. It's very heightening. You want to either dance it out or like just, have such a good time with yourself because you want to raise your energy and get it like crunked. You know what I'm saying? Like you just want to get it up high, you want to get it crunked, you want to just like, and then from there in that happy flow state, you're like, yes, I'm feeling how life is flowing for me right now. That's exactly when you want to say, I want to wish something. I want to wish for something right now, It's actually funny. I had run into a woman that like she does that for herself. She like gets into these like happy flow states, and she's like, "It's wishing time," and she goes into them, and she calls it out, and she just basically manifests from that emotional level, which is what you want to do. So. Which, again, I feel like a lot of adults don't know that shit because they won't allow themselves to go there. Now, when you're when you're working with a creative energy, it really basically entails any type of creative essence, any type of creative thing that comes to you, whether it be with like childlike energy, any idea that basically a child would adapt to. You can do that for yourself too, like whether it be jump roping, hula hooping, something to like kind of get you going. Music is like the first step to me all the time. Dancing is the second step, and and then whatever else comes from that is like awesome. So that's the first thing you want to do. Just get in contact, in touch, get your emotions up with emotions in alignment, rather with motions and emotions. Oh, I like that. With in alignment with the child essence of yourself. So your inner child, feed it, and then you can start manifesting from there. So then it says let go of expectations. So these might not be in order, but I'm going to just like talk to you about them. So actually the second one after connecting with your creative energy, I would say is to then ask for what you want, because that's exactly like you're happy, you're just like you're at the you're functioning at the energy that actually is more welcoming to that manifestation, and it's kind of, it attracts it right away, because it's like people, like no one's going to be attracted to a person who like lies and is like nasty and is like you know, just like a fucking dull human being. No one's going to be attracted to that, right? Like you kind of even just repel. So that's how your manifestations work. It's like you need to get yourself crunked up, revved up, so that you can literally attract, manifest your any type of good manifestation that you want for yourself, so that it can come faster, right? So again, another thing I'm completely grateful for is the fact that this morning I was, even though I was worried, I was able to flip it. I was able to pray about it. I was able to, next step, which I'm about to talk to, is let go of your expectation, which exactly that was. I wasn't like praying, and then I was like, well, I hope this works. No, I trusted that it works. So when you trust that it works, you like let it go, and then you literally make room for it to come into your life, right? It's kind of like organizing, or decluttering rather. When you declutter, you're literally getting rid of stuff that no longer makes you at your happiest. It doesn't bring you any joy, so you get rid of that stuff, having somebody else be so ultimately happy with it, and then you just basically bring in, you know, you make room for what will absolutely make you joyous. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, and it's a form of balance, right? You have to kind of give in order to receive. That's how it is. The next step is step into your inner power, which is beautiful. And sometimes I actually have I don't even realize that I do it. And I would say, if my human like self would be asked like, oh, how do you step into your inner power? Fuck, I wouldn't even know. I think that's a whole new video, because I just don't know if I even do that on a conscious level, or if my soul just like is just in its inner power at all times, you know. So, which is a good question. Like I have to kind of think about that. So step into your inner power. That's interesting. I actually also would say, from a human aspect of it, like I would feel like I'm weak at that, but I'm not too sure, because I've never really put thought to it, right? Then the next one to play off of that is start believing in your abilities to create all that you wish for. And so this is interesting. I also don't do this one, which is, I guess it's in like the background of it, like that if I didn't believe that I could manifest, I guess I wouldn't be in either of these situations where I step into my inner power and then I start believing in my abilities. Like, I guess it just comes with the territory for me. I don't know if that's weird or not. And I don't even know if that's my truth or not. I have to really sit on that. And then the next step is by feeling it coming from your feeling heart center. Oh, this is totally it. This is actually very interesting. I don't feel like I did that this morning either. But I know when I prayed, I did it from my heart. So I guess simultaneously I did feel it in my heart, but I didn't actually feel it coming from my heart. Do you get what I'm saying? Like I didn't know, I wouldn't know like to have manifested a necklace, right? I just like, basically what my manifestation was a heart-based manifestation, right? So I guess that in its sense is really good. But I was going to say is that when you manifest, you really do want to be able to come from a feeling heart. Like that's why a lot of people say, like in The Secret, you know, when you're wanting to, you know, manifest a new car for yourself, it's like you have to like really, like in order to visualize it, feeling it really helps you. You know what I'm saying? Because then it connects everything, and then you're like, okay, so when you feel it, you're able to more like it kind of like the vision unfolds in front of you, which is amazing. So that's how you end up envisioning it. If you have maybe like a weakness envisioning it, right? So you want to feel first and then envision it. That's how I would do it, at least. It says hold the vision of your manifested thoughts. Now that would definitely be like if you wanted to. I know what is it? Abraham Hicks has taught me that it's really good to hold a thought for 17 seconds and repeat the thought in your head for 17 seconds if you wanted to manifest it. So so basically, hold the vision of your manifested thoughts. That's basically like you doing the same thing, like where it's basically you hold the vision that you got from your feeling, you hold it for 17 seconds, and it would be really powerful for you to do that. So and I guess because it manifests faster, right? Because you're like focused in on it, and when you focus in on something, and I think maybe that's why all of this comes maybe a lot easier for me, because I actually do focus. I just don't notice that I'm doing it. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I'm a very focused person with whatever I'm doing. Like, I'm very mindful. That's why, like, sometimes when it comes to thinking a lot, I'm just like, no, fuck that shit. My mind has been like working all day. Like, I need simplicity. You know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes you don't really have to think. That's the funny part. People think that they have to think all the time about certain decisions, but I'm like, throughout the day, I'm very mindful in my thoughts, but I'm also very much more feeling about my decisions. So that's why it takes the stress off of thinking too much, right? And I think that's what gets us all kind of even more crazy in our heads, is like we don't distribute, you know, our energies throughout the body to kind of help us in that, right? So it's kind of like a balanced sense also. What else? It says take action to bring them into fruition. Now, this is definitely purely with goal setting. Also with like the synchronicity that happened to me today in terms of the necklace. It's like I actually prayer is action. People don't realize that prayer. Like, people like kind of like say, hey, that's not, you know, excuse me. They say that doesn't really exist. That doesn't help. And it's like, no, when you pray, you ask for basically help to set an intention about what you want, right? So you're basically, it's an intention. Prayer is like an intention that you're setting with the help of your angels, and that's basically what it is. And it's so funny because when I say that out loud, it's like I'm so not used to saying that out loud with like on camera, or with like just it's always like in my head, you know? So it's just really interesting. I have to get used to it. So also taking action to bring them into fruition. I mean, it's true. A lot of the times, you know, even a small action would be to like brainstorm, like, what would you do if somebody handed you this like, you know, this goal or this situation that they want to solve for themselves, or they want to attain for themselves. Like, what would you do? So you literally just write out exactly like, okay, so this is the first thing I would do based off of, you know, like what creatively comes to me or what structurally comes to me. It's all beautiful. It all works together. And so that in itself is taking action to kind of implement and to show your mind that, you know what, you're ready for this. And the angels, it's like, you got this, and you're also inviting their help to come in and to help you with it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just you getting your goals done all the time. This is what I try to tell many people, like, especially because I'm an entrepreneur, you know, my friends are entrepreneurs, so it's just kind of like, we're so adult-like, but we're also very childlike. But in a sense, like, that's what I am longing for, is to connect with people's inner childs, because it's like, it's so much more fun there. And also, when you're setting a goal, I have an itch on my foot. When you're setting a goal, you need to know that it's not always going to happen at your specific deadline. That's why I feel that I'm like so instantaneous when it says fuck the deadlines, because like I've like always tried to like work with deadlines, but it stresses me out because I think it doesn't jive with my inner kid. And because it's like, yeah, it's scary as shit. Like, I don't, like, what if you don't get it done? Then it's just like, dude, you're like, you feel like a failure. But at the same time, see, you have to change your mindset. It's like, I will get it done and I will feel stronger, right? So that's very interesting in terms of the mindset. So before, maybe I was scared of deadlines, and now by processing this teaching with you, I can make it more fun for myself. And a really awesome idea that I just recently learned is to come up, and Victor Otto, I think on YouTube, had taught me that, which I fucking loved. It was awesome. Is like basically create a goal, whatever you want, and then put a deadline to it. And then once you put the deadline to it, cut that deadline in half and get it done in that first initial amount of time, because it's like you Grant Cardoned it, which is like 10x'd it, and basically it's like you put your mentality, your mind into like, holy shit, I gotta get this done. There's urgency here, And that's something that I lacked before, because I was like, I believe in the A team. Like, I'm gonna get stuff done, like in the, like basically I'm gonna get stuff done like in divine timing. I purely believe that. I think that it also, it's such a better aspect of timing when you're kind of when you are, completing your goals, because of the fact that it's like, we don't really take into consideration all this energy-based stuff. Like when we're doing our goals, we need to be of a certain energy. The energy of the day is at a certain energy. There's a certain energy that like the planets are in. Like we don't realize the levels of energies that are actually helping us kind of like create what we want, right? So the whole thing is, that's why I feel like I'm so above the deadlines, because I'm like, dude, it'll happen in the right timing, and it'll be far better than what I have even like thought to like, by having it complete by a certain time, right? That's what I'm trying to get out there into the world. That's like it's sometimes, I don't know, I was just thinking, sometimes I get caught up on my words. So, but yeah, so that's basically, that's the whole thing. I mean, put a deadline to them. Actually, I was talking about taking action to bring them into fruition. That's huge. I was just talking about deadlines, and so it's just like, but you can combo it up. Like you can have a deadline, and you can also trust that if it doesn't happen by this certain deadline, I'm not going to be upset, because it's going to happen far better than I fucking ever had expected it to be. And that's also an intention, that it's just like, whatever, man, I'm just doing my best here. You know what I'm saying? So the next, okay, I talked about brainstorming, any and all actions to put them into. Okay. And then, so to end the video, it's, yeah, so to end the video, Wendy Murphy had mentioned, trust that what is right for you and your soul path will come to you in divine and perfect timing. And that's basically what I was trying to say before too, is like, just trust that that's going to happen, and you don't really have to worry about it. It's just like, basically all you have to worry about is chipping away at the different ideas that you had brainstormed for yourself, or better. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like, initially when we brainstorm stuff, it's like we have stuff that like can go into it. Other times it's like, after we put down the initial brainstorm, it's like we have different, it's like our mind relaxes, we're able to let go of it, and because we've also put stuff out on paper, that's a huge release in itself, very powerful. So when your mind is able to relax and has gotten all of these ideas out of its head, you literally just made room for more ideas to come in. So afterwards, you're going to be able to add more to that brainstorming idea page, and it's going to be fucking fabulous. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, you guys are manifesting freaking pros right now. So do that. That was basically kind of like more metaphysical manifestation into the physical, which is so cool, right? So it's like practical manifestation. It's definitely, I urge you to do it before. It's funny, I just started doing it, so I have like kind of a fresh perspective on a whole bunch of like collected ideas about it. But for a while there, I was a little burnt out on it. I was just like, I don't know, like I didn't, I'm such a big goal setter, and see like the big dreamings. Like I think for me, I just got a little burnt out in terms of like, I wanted to do stuff bigger and I didn't know how. But also these smaller tasks were just kind of like too, like I was just like kind of done with it. Like I definitely took a break from goal setting. I know that's crazy. No one would ever do that shit in their life, but like, and especially Capricorn. But the thing is, I did, because I felt like I was fucking, like, I was kind of done. But also, you know, there's upgrades that happen within you that you kind of need to make room for too. So I think that's what was going on in my head, is I was willing to let go of my goals to have far better ideas pop into my head, you know, and I'm so glad that I allowed for it. So have an awesome night, guys. I love you so much, and thank you so much for sticking around and watching this video. Hopefully it helped. Coming at you with more videos. Bye.